your level of optimism going into Mexico City was so high, and I can tell you're very optimistic about this as well. How do you maintain your confidence? Because I know Mexico City, you were probably a little bit off from where you thought you wanted to be, maybe car-wise. I don't know, but how do you maintain that level of confidence, knowing and to feel like okay, SVG's out there, but I can still go beat him?
Yeah, I think it's just, confidence is interesting, right? It's not something that you can fake or fabricate. It comes from, for me, it comes from results and analytics and understanding where we're at and where we're not at. I think Mexico went okay. The strategy didn't work out great for us, but qualified, I think in the top three and felt like we were a top three car and ended up finishing fourth or fifth. I don't know which one. And so we were in the game, but probably not quite where we wanted to be. But I'm optimistic because, just like it takes time, it's taken time to figure out what I need in the 71 car and what package that's going to take. And believe it or not, it's actually been different than years past. So Mexico was one step forward from COTA, where I felt like, hey, I like this, I like that. I still needed to do this. If we can make it do this, we're going to be really good. And so you just keep building that and keep building it. It's nice to have, road courses here. I don't want to say back-to-back because obviously we had a few weeks between Mexico, but now we go Chicago, go Sonoma. And these are our opportunities to try to win. And this race has been so, I don't know what the right word is, but with the rain and the dry, it's been hard to get a rhythm in the race, and so I feel like we've had speed and we've had opportunities here and, catch the strategy right, catch the tires right, all those things. So it's a unique race where I think if you're in the game, like if you're in that top three, top four, you're going to have a shot at it depending on when cautions fall and if the race gets shortened. Like there's things that have caught us out over the last 2 years that I felt like we were in contention. So I like it. I like the challenge of this track. I like the challenge of the conditions changing, and feel good about what tomorrow could bring.
All right, we'll go to Reed and then Kelly.
Reed Spencer with the NASCAR Wire. Because of the lack of runoffs here, is there more stress in a lap here than there is, say, at a typical road course like Watkins Glen or something like that?
Oh yeah, for sure. I was telling my wife as we were listening and watching practice there, it's like you roll out for practice and you want to get into a good rhythm and you want to be close to the limit, but you don't really want to challenge yourself a ton because you see what happens and there's no time to get a backup ready and you don't want to start in the back, and it's a very condensed schedule. And so, I feel like you're at that like 80, 85% in practice, and you're getting your rhythm and you're finding your marks and you're pushing yourself just a little bit more and a little bit more. And then you go qualify and you throw all that out the window and you just go put it on the edge. And, you got to do that for a few laps here, I feel like. So it's an adrenaline rush. It is stressful, though, to answer your question. You never feel like you put your guard down. You stay very tense. You stay very locked in, that high level of concentration, just because it's an inch left or right and you miss it. So it's fun, though, when you get it right.
All right, Kelly.
Kelly Crandall, Racer.com. Michael, you just said a minute ago about the road courses and street courses are your opportunities for this team. Given the amount that we now have on the schedule, is it more disappointing when you feel like you're so close and you have good runs, but you don't win the race, essentially?
Yes. I mean, for sure, we know that we need a win, and a win gets you into playoffs, and so that's always in the back of your mind. And as you get further into the schedule, that those opportunities are becoming less and less. So, but I've dealt with that in the past, and I've kind of been in that spot in the past. I think you just do your job well and stay locked in and take it week by week, and you just try to get the best result you can, and knowing that this weekend is important, right? This weekend is important, but if it doesn't work out this weekend, we have Sonoma. That's going to be important too. And the one nice thing about where we're at Spire Motorsports right now is I don't think we're just locked into only road courses or only super speedways. I think we have enough speed to challenge. I don't want to say anywhere because we're still growing and getting better. It's not like, I could confidently tell you here that, we can win any track any weekend, but there are tracks I feel like that we're strong at and we're building good momentum at. So I don't know if that answered your question or not. I feel the pressure. I know what I have to do. I know I was hired to do, and I just got to go out there and do it. And sometimes you do, sometimes you don't, and that's what makes sports fun, and that's what makes a career fun, and that's what makes the ups and downs, worth it. I enjoyed listening to Chase talk about like taking it in and appreciating the win because, obviously he's won a lot of races and he'll definitely win more than I will. But when you have that big gap where you haven't won, you realize that you don't take them for granted, and that you got to enjoy them, and you got to keep that fire and that hunger because it's hard to win cup races. It really is. So I appreciate hearing guys like that have won a lot, enjoy it and understand that they're not gimmies, that it's not just something that happens every year.
Okay, we're going to go to Jerry. We'll come back to Lee and then Jeff.
Jerry Jordan, Kicking the Tires.net. Along those lines, you were talking about, Aspire. How has this transition been at this point? Are you getting what you need? Do you feel like, you say you're a threat at certain places, maybe not all, but how is the car? How is the gel between the team?
Yeah, I think the gel is good. That's fine. I feel like our chemistry is good, and obviously keeping Travis Peterson with me is a big part of that. And not just Travis, but car chief and mechanics and engineers and spotter, and so there's multiple guys that have stayed with me. So that continuity and that chemistry is good. That's not really the issue. I think the bigger issue for us, and it's not even, I wouldn't even call it that as an issue, is just more the growing process of learning new tools and how that correlates to what we're used to. It's just been a bit of a transition. Some of the things that worked for us in the past don't work as well, and that's surprising. It's not something you would expect, but we've kind of learned through that, and so I feel like we've had more ups and downs than we had wanted to, but I also feel like our cars have potential and we have speed. And I was looking at one of the charts somebody posted, and it was like, when we finish with no problems, we typically finish in the top 10 and we're in contention, or their 30s. And that's been the struggle this year, is like we've had a decent amount of mechanical issues. We've had a decent amount of just, random in-season racing stuff where you make a mistake or something happens. But on the races where we execute and everything goes pretty well, I feel like we're in that top 10 contention. Now, we don't have a lot of top 10s to show for it. I realize that. But I think we have like 3 or 4 11ths and 12ths that are just right outside the top 10. And I feel like our speed has been there to contend. But there's still a lot to clean up, and it's hard. Like I said, it's hard to win cup races. It's hard for the number 9, Chase Elliott, Hendrick Motorsports, to win cup races. Could you imagine what it's like for the 71 group to win cup races? It's tough. This is a tough sport, and you got to have everything go your way. And when you see guys that, that have done this a long time and won a lot of races, it's not easy. So I feel like we're on a good path. I'm very happy with where our team is and our program is. Obviously, we need a win, and we know that.
All right, Lee.
Lee Spencer, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio and Catchfence.com. Did you mentioned Sonoma earlier. What are the keys to getting around there the most efficiently?
Yeah, Sonoma's just a lot of fun. I think it's one of those tracks that, for me, I have a lot of seat time at, and spent a lot of time there, before going NASCAR racing. And my wife and I, we actually lived not too far from there for a season of life as I was, kind of coming up through Formula cars and working outside of Turn 11 there. And, for me, Sonoma's super straightforward. There's one line. There's not a lot of tricks. And you got to manage your tires, and you got to, you have to be technical to be fast around there. So I enjoy it, and it's been good to us. The last couple years, I think we've finished second, finished third there, been close. So it's just a place that I'm comfortable with, and I know my marks and know my rhythm, and it all comes together well. And I do think too, it's still one of the tracks that you do conserve your tires and it pays off. Where Watkins Glen now is like every lap's qualifying, just hammer down, which is fun too. It's its own fun. But Sonoma's still got that technical aspect where you still got to manage everything pretty well.
And coming from the open wheel side, what would it mean to win Indy on the road course and Indy, traditional Indy?
Yeah, it would be great. I mean, I think that, obviously winning there is awesome, but, winning the Brickyard 400 is different than winning the Brickyard 250. I mean, it just is, or 200 or whatever. And it's a track that I enjoy, and it's a track I do think that our big track speed has been good, so I feel like we'll have a shot to run up front there, and strategy plays in there, with the laps being long, kind of like Pocono, where you can save fuel or you can, run it like a road course when you get into your windows, so it creates a lot of opportunity. And yeah, I think that winning an Indy special, there's no doubt about it, but the Brickyard, the oval, is what we know, right? And it's what has that crown jewel effect. I don't know if you would count the road course as a crown jewel, even though I do. I do, but I don't know industry-wide if that's accepted. Yeah.
All right, Jeff, did you have a question?
If this is the last edition of the Chicago Street Race, did this race work? Did this concept work? Did coming here, was it a success?
Oh, I think it's been a huge success. Especially with some of the adversity that everyone's had to overcome, whether it be weather or, you guys remember that first year on Saturday, like the amount of people that were coming in here for the concert was insanity, right? It was going to be just a gigantic success, and obviously the weather and thunderstorms. And so I think that it's had to go through a lot of adversity, but the race itself and the city and the track and all the things are awesome. I've enjoyed the whole process, and I feel like it's accomplished what we wanted to accomplish, is engaging with new fans, bringing the race to the fans and not the fans to the race. Like, I think we've checked all the boxes, and honestly, until the last 2 days, maybe it's just because I'm not on social media as much or whatever it is, I didn't know that this was a possibility, that it would be the last one. But I am thankful, if it is, for the time that we've had here. And, it's also expanded and opened, I think, the industry's eyes to the possibilities of what we can do as well, right? And everything, like the Coliseum did that, Bowman Gray's done that. Mexico City, as we do new things more often and people get, comfortable in that, uncomfortable space, I feel like our sport will continue to grow and expand, and we talked about that a little bit at Mexico. So I think we're positioned really well to do that. I think we have the right product on the racetrack. I think we have the right race car to do that, and put on a good show, and we have the right personalities and drivers to do it as well. So I hope that we keep expanding and we keep trying new things, because I feel like it's been success. I think we really need to look at, though, each area geographically when their rain season is, and then not go there during the rain season. We need to head that up. It feels like when we go somewhere new, we're always fighting that weather element. So, yeah, I don't know where that is, but...
My Place Hotels is proud to be the official hotel partner of Front Stretch. With plush beds, in-room kitchens, and pet-friendly hotels, My Place makes for the perfect pit stop when traveling. Front Stretch fans can use promo code FRONTSTRETCH to save 10% on your stay at any of our nationwide properties. Sign up for our Stay Rewarded program to get even more savings. With My Place Hotels, don't just stay, stay rewarded.
Steven Stump of FrontStretch.com here. Come back for more great racing videos, and if you like us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.